Hey, I'm Sam, and it's early Sunday morning. I woke up about 15 minutes ago, and so my voice is very, very croaky, and it'll change, and my eyes are blurry, though I do have a poem. We'll see how my eyes are. And I have some things that I'm bursting to say. I said I didn't want to make a video until I've got something bursting, and I have. Yeah. You know, I go through the same thing every time I make a video, to varying degrees. The more specific I am, the more detailed I am, the more shame I feel. And in the video I put it out on Friday, I wanted to take that down. And I felt such shame, and I didn't know, I couldn't really identify what it was, but I felt such shame about what I'd said. I thought, I've got to take it down, but then people had commented, and I woke up at 4 o'clock on Saturday morning, and I just thought, it doesn't matter, just take it down. But then someone had left a really long comment and put so much thought into it, and I thought, I can't disrespect them by deleting the video, so I left it. I thought, I'll say some more, I'll come up here and I'll make another video. So I sat here Saturday morning and tried to say some more, but I couldn't, it wasn't coherent enough, so I didn't publish it. And then more and more people watched the video, and now it's like got nearly 900 views and more comments, and so I can't take it down. So what is this feeling? What is this feeling? What is this desire to make another video? What is this motivation to say some more? It's to correct. It's to right the wrong of what I've said. To shift the blame onto me and say, no, it's my fault. It was my fault. It was me. It was me. I said the unthinkable. I gave a voice to the suffering I endured. I can't say that. I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't say that. I feel shame. How can I right this wrong that I've done? How can I correct it? I'll say some more. I'll pull the attention away from what I said in the last video, and then maybe people won't watch it. You know, we invalidate ourselves when we become our abuser, as we were invalidated. You know, I remembered something a couple of weeks ago, actually it was longer because it was before the last two videos, and I was trying to make a video, and I was talking, and all of a sudden I had a flashback, and I was there, and the memory was crystal clear. I remembered the wooden floorboards of where I was standing, the door in front of me, the smell of boozy breath hanging in the air, and the muffled voice from the pillow as I stood in the doorway of my parents' bedroom asking for food. And the voice that came back was a familiar refrain of, there's water in the tap and bread in the cupboard. And I stood there. I felt nothing, because it happened a lot, and it's such a subtle thing. It's not abuse. I wasn't hit. I wasn't dragged. I wasn't ridiculed. I wasn't treated with contempt overtly. It was just a subtlety that was ever present. And as I remembered that, something broke inside me, and I cried. I cried the most agonizing tears I've ever cried. Because in my silence as a child, in the nothingness of my existence, I could not claim the emotions that I buried so deep. I'd normalised the fear and isolation to such a degree, I felt nothing. But I felt it in that moment of remembrance. I felt it. And when we grieve, we validate the past, we validate our feelings. And the shame I feel after every video is the pathway back to myself. And those agonising tears are the validation of an invalidated child, an invalidated person. And when we invalidate ourselves, we deny our existence. We deny the truth of our being. And so I keep saying this, the return to ourselves. And every time I say that, I think I know more clearly what it means, but that penetrating truth in those words is so profound, I couldn't even describe it. Its real meaning. Because when we return to ourselves, we return to the gift of our life, our identity. And I do believe that there is a oneness behind everything, a wholeness behind everything, but not in the sense of non-duality, not in that impersonal sense. We are created beings, and the gift of our identity is our uniqueness. The lens of our individuality is the light of creation. That's what the light of creation shines through. So our individuality, our identity, our personality is completely unique. And when we deny that, we pretend to be someone else, we pretend to be someone acceptable, we pretend, we copy, that's a tragedy. And so when we return and we say, this is me, who I am is me. My personality, my identity, the things I love, how I bring my creativity into the world is the gift. That's the light. So when we return to ourselves through the shame, through the grief, and we validate ourselves and say, no, I am here, this is me, that light says, I can shine through you because you're not pretending to be someone else, you're not denying your existence, you are here. Now I can live in you, and that light is love. That light is love. It's the love that we then share with everybody else. The goodness that is love. The foundation of our being is goodness, is love. But we deny all that. We say, no, I'm broken, I'm damaged. You don't want to know me because I'm fucking dark. You don't know the things I've done to survive. You don't know the things that go on in my mind, the thoughts. You don't know the harm I have caused to myself and other people because I hate myself and I bring that hate into the world. You don't know these things. Don't come near me. You'll just get hurt. It's a lie. It's a lie. It's a lie we're told. And it's a lie we believe. There is an unavoidable, effortless goodness within us. So return is return to that. It's the acceptance, the gift of our life. We've got to penetrate the shame, pierce that dark bubble of hate, and accept that we are good. It's difficult. But I think we need to find our own path. What do we need? We need to create. We need to create, because that shows us that something can come from us. We can produce something unique, whether that's painting or words or speech. Something comes from us. We sing, we dance, we move. It's us. Find our modality, our own healing modality, and find the environment we need to be in. For me, it's this. So I've descended into despair over the last few months because I hadn't been able to get outside, because I couldn't walk, because the anxiety was building up to such a degree that I couldn't walk properly. I had tension in my back, so I couldn't get into the hills and the woodland. And I've been cycling, but I've been cycling around the road. It's not the same. So yesterday I broke that cycle. I came here and I sat beneath this tree, and then I walked up, not far, I walked up the hill and into the woods. And it's a completely different space. It's contemplative, it's healing, it's nourishing, there's movement all around me, it's green and it's alive. And I felt peace. And last night I slept 10 hours nearly. And I'm here now. So what do you need? What do you need? What do you need to find peace? What do you need to do to find your voice that speaks? Because first of all, it will speak of pain. It will be a scream of anguish. And even a week ago, I was still consumed by that scream. I was kneeling, screaming silently into my knees. And that comes and goes. But I can also speak. You know, that's what these videos are. They're my sharing. So what can you do to share? Find your voice. And that voice is the lifeline you can hold on to and find your way back to yourself. So, just a few words. Now, I shall attempt to read a poem with my croaky voice and bleary eyes. Oh my God. Okay. I have never read this poem before. I read it a couple of times last night, but I've never read it publicly. Okay. So this is David White from his latest book of poetry, Still Possible, and this is your prayer. Your prayer only began with words, each one you realise just a hand on the door to silence. Even in your gathered, chanted strength, what you said in the end was a shoulder against the grain of the wood, trying to keep the entrance open, until that door, which had been no door at all, gave in to necessary grief, which is really only the full understanding of what you were missing all along, which is really just that vulnerability you needed to make a proper invitation, which is really just you admitting the full depth of your love at last, the heartbroken heart coming to heartfelt rest, the opening inside you now filled to the gleaming brim and casting its generous beam. The part of you thought was foolish was the wisest voice of all. It's funny how I find the perfect poem, and his work helps me so much. Every time I need to find something that helps me articulate what it is I want to say, this man provides the words. So we're leaning against the door within us, the door that we're too scared to open. It's a door to vulnerability. And behind that doorway to vulnerability, in his words, is really just the admission, the full depth of the love. We wouldn't have felt pain if we didn't love, if we hadn't wanted to love. And what contorts us and twists us into knots is the fact that the love that we want to give is met with hostility. And then we question ourselves, we doubt ourselves. And, when the abuser is the caregiver, it's a disaster. But we can find our way back to that well within us. The opening inside now filled to the gleaming brim and casting its generous beam. It's filled with what? Love. And the beam is light. It's the love that we share. And the wisest voice of all is that voice that we think is foolish. The voice that we deny. We chastise ourselves. We ridicule ourselves. We deny ourselves. Don't do that. Learn to trust yourself. Okay. If I say any more, I'll just move away from what I've said already, so. Thank you for watching. And I'll see you soon.